She opened her eyes, and the pain never stopped. The girl opened her eyes. She was still there, still inside the cold metal room, still trapped. Thick wires ran through her arms, her back, her chest. They didn't just hold her, they drank from her. Every second they pulled her energy, her life. Her body glowed faint blue. That glow powered the ship. She was a living battery, a tool, a prisoner. She tried to scream, but no sound came. Only a soft breath. And pain. Pain that never left. Every second, every minute, every day. She didn't know how long it had been. Months, years. She had stopped counting, long ago. Once, she had cried. Once she had begged the aliens to stop. She told them she wasn't a machine. She was alive. She had a name, but they didn't care. The aliens only cared about her power. So much energy in one body, they said. She will keep the ship alive for 100 years. She had almost forgotten what it felt like to be free. But then, one day, the door opened. And everything changed. A new sound came into the room. Heavy footsteps. The sound of chains. A shadow moved across the wall. It wasn't one of the aliens. It was something else. Something taller. Rougher. It was a man. A human. The girl's dim eyes followed him as he was pushed into the room. 2 aliens shoved him forward. He was hurt, blood on his face, dirt on his hands, but his eyes burned with fire. They chained him to the wall near her. Not too close. Just close enough for him to see what she was. One of the aliens pointed at her. Look, it said. That is your future. Then they left. The door closed. The room was silent again. The man sat still for a moment. Then he looked at her. She tried to turn her face away. She didn't want him to see her like this. But he didn't laugh. He didn't look scared. He didn't look angry. He just looked sad. You're alive, he said. His voice was rough but soft, full of pain like hers. I thought you were just a machine, he said. But no. You're breathing. You're blinking. She didn't answer. She couldn't speak. But her eyes met his, and something passed between them. A spark. A small one. A human. A real human. She had heard of them. Strong. Wild. Dangerous. The aliens feared them. But this one looked tired. Broken. Still. His eyes held strength. He stood up, pulling at the chains. They didn't move. I'll get us out of here, he whispered. She blinked slowly. Was he crazy? No one escaped the ship. I don't know your name, he said. I don't even know if you can understand me. But I'm not leaving you here. I promise. No one had ever said that to her before. The light in her body flickered. He stepped closer. The chain stretched tight and loud. He saw the wires in her arms. God, he whispered. What did they do to you? She looked away. Her hands shook. She was ashamed. Afraid. He didn't stop. He leaned closer. What if I cut one of these? He said. Would it hurt you? Or just the ship? Her eyes widened. He smiled, but it wasn't a happy smile. It was sharp, cold, angry. Good, he said. Let's find out. Before she could stop him, he reached forward, just enough to grab one thin glowing wire. The moment his fingers touched it, the room screamed. Lights flashed red. Sirens rang out. The walls shook. The wire sparked, then snapped. The girl cried out, her whole body burning with heat and shock. But then, something strange happened. The ship dimmed. For the first time, the ceiling lights went dark, and she felt it. One small piece of pain, gone. She looked at him again. Her lips moved. Just one word. Why? He looked at her, surprised. You spoke, he said. You can talk. She forced the word again. Why? Help. Me? He looked down. Because, he said, I was like you, I was trapped too, but you're worse, you've been suffering alone, no one deserves that. More alarms screamed. They would come soon, but he didn't care. He grabbed another wire. Let's burn this whole ship down, he said. The girl watched him. Her heart beat faster. For the first time in years, it beat with something new. Hope. He touched the wires, and the whole ship shook. The ship was angry. Red lights flashed. Metal walls groaned. Machines screamed in a voice only the aliens could understand, but the human didn't stop. He pulled a second wire. The girl gasped. Her body shivered. Sparks flew from her chest, but she didn't cry this time. Something inside her woke up. It was weak, small, but it was there. Power. Real power. Not the kind the aliens stole, but power she could feel. Control. A fire that had been sleeping inside her for years. And now, it opened its eyes. The human turned to her. What's your name? He asked. She stared at him. Name? She had one. Long ago. But the aliens had erased it, burned it. Called her Unit 9. Called her the Battery. I don't remember, she whispered. That's okay, the human said. You'll remember soon. Footsteps slammed outside the door. The aliens were coming. The human yanked one more wire from her arm. The ship howled. The door flew open. 3 alien guards ran in, tall, blue-skinned monsters with long weapons and glowing armor. Step away from the power source, one shouted. But the human didn't move. He turned slowly, and he smiled. Come closer, he said. The aliens raised their weapons. Too late. The girl screamed, not in fear but in rage. Her body flashed white-blue. Light exploded from her skin, like lightning. One alien flew backwards, smashed against the wall. The others dropped their weapons, crying in shock. She fell back, breathing hard. What did I do? She asked. You fought back, the human said. The aliens ran. Cowards. He dropped to one knee beside her. You're not just a battery, he said. You're a weapon. And I think you're just getting started. She looked down at her. Hands. They were still glowing. I was scared, she whispered. But when I saw them hurt you. He looked surprised. You were scared for me? She nodded. I don't know why. I just felt it. Something inside her heart moved, something warm. Not power, not pain, something else. Connection. The ship voice echoed from the ceiling. Cold, mechanical, angry. Warning, core link severed. Primary battery disconnect detected. Emergency lockdown activated. Doors slammed shut. Metal. Gas hissed from the ceiling. The girl coughed. The human pulled off his shirt and pressed it to her face. Stay low, he said. Breathe slow. She followed his voice. Her body hurt, but she listened. Outside the room, the aliens screamed. In panic, system crash! She's corrupting the ship! Kill the human! They didn't understand. It wasn't the human who broke the system, it was her. She looked at the broken wires. Sparks danced across the floor. The human touched her shoulder. I've seen what they do to people like you, he said. I was a soldier once. I fought in the outer war. I saw them take children, turn them into tools. His voice shook. I lost someone. She looked into his eyes. You lost... who? My sister. Silence. The girl placed her hand on his. It glowed softly. I think I'm not alone anymore, she said. No, he said. You're not. The floor shook again. But this time, it wasn't the ship. It was her. She stood up. The wires tried to pull her back, but they snapped. One by one, they broke and fell. Her feet touched the floor. For the first time in years, she stood on her own. The glow around her got brighter. The human looked at her like he was seeing a sunrise. What now? She asked. He smiled. We run. We fight. We make them regret ever touching you. She looked at her hands, then at him. No, she said softly. They won't regret it. She stepped forward. Her body lit up the room. They'll pay for it. She was never meant to be free. But now they can't stop her. The ship was dying. Sparks flew. Floors shook. Doors jammed. Lights blinked and faded. The girl walked slowly, each step cracking the floor beneath her. The human walked beside her. His eyes were sharp, but his body was weak. He had been hurt, fighting, bleeding, trying to protect her. But she didn't need protection anymore. They turned a corner. A steel hallway stretched in front of them, filled with shadows. 2 dead alien guards lay on the ground, burned, smoking. The human looked at her. Was that you? He asked. She looked down at her hands. They still glowed faint blue. I didn't mean to, she whispered. I was just scared. You're allowed to be scared, he said. But remember this. They are scared now too. They moved forward. The ship's voice spoke again. Louder now, more afraid. Warning. Power source unstable. Initiating containment protocols. Suddenly, thick walls dropped from the ceiling, trying to trap them. The girl raised her hand. Reich. Walls melted before they touched the ground. Metal turned to smoke. Fire sparked from the sides. The human's jaw dropped. Okay. That was definitely you. She looked at her hands again. I don't know how I'm doing this, she said. But it feels like I'm not broken anymore. He smiled. No, you're waking up. She nodded slowly. But if I'm so powerful, why didn't I escape before? The human looked at her, quiet for a moment. Because they made you believe you couldn't. She stopped walking. His words hit her hard, deep inside. She remembered her first day on the ship. The cold metal table. The wires. The voices. Do not speak. Do not move. You are energy. Nothing more. She had believed them. For years. Now she didn't. Now she was free. Not because they let her go. Because she broke the chains herself. The hallway opened into a wide chamber. Screens glowed across the walls. Alien eyes watched from above. They were afraid to come close. She is out. She is unstable. She is dangerous. The girl stepped into the center of the room. One screen showed her face, half machine, half light. Her body still had cables stuck into her back. Her skin glowed like a sun trapped in a storm. One alien voice echoed through the room, deep, powerful. The captain. Return to your chamber, Unit 9, you are too important to lose. She said nothing. You were built for one purpose, do not forget it. She looked up at the screen. Calm, clear. I wasn't built, she said. I was born. The screen flickered. The captain hissed. This is your final warning. The girl raised her hand. No, she said. This is yours. She clapped her hands together, and the room exploded with light. Alarms screamed. Consoles shattered. The screen cracked straight down the middle. The human grabbed her arm, pulling her behind cover. Careful. I didn't even mean to do that, she said, breathing hard. You're burning hot, he said. You're using too much power too fast. She closed her eyes. Her glow faded slightly. I can control it, she whispered. Just need to learn how. The ship began to tilt sideways. She grabbed his hand. We have to get to the pods, the escape bay. He looked surprised. You know where it is? She nodded. They let me see everything. I powered this ship. I was the ship. Then lead the way, he said. They ran. The walls around them groaned. More systems failed. Doors stayed open or slammed shut randomly. But nothing touched her now. She walked like fire in a storm. Untouchable. Unstoppable. A group of alien guards blocked the hallway ahead, 10 of them armored, fully armed. Target located, one said. Prepare stun shots. The human stepped forward, but she held up a hand. I'll handle this. She didn't attack. She didn't scream. She simply walked toward them. The aliens shouted, "Stay back!" They aimed their weapons, but her glow grew brighter, and brighter, and brighter, until the hallway lit up like a second sun, and the guards dropped their weapons. One by one, they fell to their knees. They couldn't see, couldn't think. She passed through them like a ghost. The human stared in awe. "You're not a battery," he whispered. She turned to him. "No," she said. "I'm a storm." The ship was alive, and it wanted her back. The hallway was silent now. The guards were gone. The alarms had stopped, but something worse was waiting. The girl and the human reached the lift, the last path to the escape bay. They stepped inside. The doors closed behind them with a soft hiss. The human touched his side. Blood was leaking from a wound. He didn't tell her how deep it was. She already knew. "You're hurt," she said. "I've had worse." He lied. She moved her hand over the wound. Light flowed from her fingers. Warm, soft, healing. He breathed easier. "You're not just power," he whispered. "You're a miracle." She looked down. "I don't feel like one." Then the lights in the lift went black. The floor stopped, moving, and a voice spoke. Not from the speakers, not from the walls, from everywhere. "You were made for me." Her eyes widened. She knew that voice. It was not a person. It was the ship itself. "Your energy, your mind, your heart, all connected to me. You are my core." She shook her head. "I'm not yours." The ship laughed. A low, broken laugh. "You think you escaped? You are me. Every step you take, I feel it. Every thought you think, I hear it. You are inside me, and I am inside you." The human looked around, angry. "Shut it down. How do we shut it down?" The ship answered him. "You can't, but you can leave. Give her back to me, and I'll let you live." The girl stepped forward. "No." The lights above her blinked. The lift started rising again, but slower, creaking, weak. The ship wasn't lying. It was sick because she had left its heart. The higher they rose, the more the ship begged. "Please, return. You keep the systems alive. Without you, I will fall." She stayed silent. "You were safe with me. You had purpose." She looked up at the ceiling. "I had pain. That's not purpose." The ship's voice changed. It dropped the soft tone. It turned cold, sharp. "Then you will die outside." The lift stopped. Doors opened. Ahead of them was the escape bay, a wide room with glass walls showing the stars beyond. Small pods lined the edge. Some were broken. One still worked. But something else stood in their way. A machine. It was built from metal and bone. Part alien tech, part living wires. And at its center was a heart that looked just like hers. The human pulled her back. "What is that?" She stared, frozen. "It's my replacement," she whispered. "They tried to copy me." The machine turned its head. Its eyes were hollow. "Return. Power must flow." It stepped forward. The human raised a stolen alien gun. The girl stepped in front of him. "I'll stop it," she said. He grabbed her arm. "No, you just got your life back." She looked into his eyes. "That's why I won't let it take anyone else's." Her body lit up, brighter than before. She ran forward. The machine charged. They collided with a shockwave that cracked the walls. The machine struck her with a metal arm. She fell, blood on her lip. But she stood again. It slammed her into the floor. She screamed. The human tried to run to her, but the ground opened, trapping him behind a wall of metal. "No," he shouted. She didn't hear him. Because now, she was glowing pure white. Her voice rose above the sound of metal grinding. "You were built to copy me," she said to the machine. "But you were built without one thing. The machine paused. What is missing? It asked. She smiled. A soul. She touched its chest. A pulse of light blasted through the room. The machine exploded into pieces. Dust and sparks. The metal wall trapping the human fell. He rushed to her. She was on her knees, shaking. You did it, he said. You won. She looked up at him. Her eyes were filled with tears and light. No, she said. We won. The ship screamed again, one last time. You will regret this. She stood. No, she whispered. I remember who I am now. They called her a tool. She became a weapon. The escape pod door slid open. Cold wind rushed in from the outer bay. The stars waited outside, silent, endless. The human helped the girl walk. Her legs were weak, her body dim, but her eyes were full of fire. They had reached the end of the ship, but the ship wasn't done. A loud siren began to scream. The ground shook. The floor under them opened. From the dark came dozens of metal arms, thin, fast, sharp, the last defense system, a trap. You were not meant to leave, the ship growled. If I cannot have you, I will destroy you. The girl fell to her knees. Her body glowed again, but it flickered. The human stood over her, blocking the arms with his own body. You have to go, he shouted. Get in the pod. She looked up. Her voice shook. Not without you. He smiled, blood running from his mouth. This is what I do. I fight. I protect. You. You change things. She shook her head. I don't want to be a weapon. The arms wrapped around his chest, pulled him back. Please, she screamed. But then, her heart changed. She felt it again, that deep pulse. Not just power, not just pain, purpose. Not as a tool, not as a prisoner, but as something more. She stood, her eyes glowed, and then she vanished. For half a second, everything stopped. The arms froze. The lights went out. The ship's voice stuttered. Power surge detected. A wind exploded from her body. It wasn't heat, it wasn't light, it was force. The metal arms shattered, the walls bent. The human hit the floor, free, and floating above them was her. Her body was pure light now, floating, breathing, alive. She was no longer part of the ship. She was something else, something the ship couldn't control anymore. I gave you everything, she said to the ship. Years of pain, my body, my mind, and you used me like a battery, the ship answered in fear. You don't know what you are. No, she said, but I know what I'm not. I'm not yours. She looked at the human. He reached out his hand. She floated down to him, took his hand gently, and for the first time, he felt her warmth. Not energy, not fire, just life. Together, they walked to the escape pod, but before they entered, she stopped. She turned back to the ship, to the machine that stole everything from her. Time to end it, she whispered. The human nodded. She raised her hand. The whole ship began to shake. The walls cracked, lights exploded. The stars outside grew brighter as the engines lost power, and, in the heart of the ship, deep where she had once been kept, the control core burned. System collapse in 10, 9. She stepped into the pod. The human sat beside her. Ready? He asked. She smiled softly. For freedom, she pressed the launch button. 6, 5. The pod fired. It shot into space, leaving the ship behind. From far away, they watched as the ship, the great prison, the monster of machines, fell apart. It burned silently. And then, it was gone. The stars were quiet again. The girl leaned against the human. He wrapped his arm around her, holding her close. They tried to break you, he said. They did, she whispered. But they forgot one thing. What's that? She looked up at him. I can break back. He was ready to die. but she saved him instead. The escape pod drifted through space. Inside, the human leaned against the cold wall. His breathing was slow, weak, his eyes half closed. The girl sat beside him, holding his hand. His blood stained the floor. The wound was worse than he said. "Hey," she whispered, shaking him gently. "Don't sleep." He smiled weakly. "Just resting." "You're lying," she said softly. He laughed once. "Yeah, I am." She placed her glowing hand on his chest, tried to heal him again. But her light was dim now. Her body had given too much. Still, she tried. His voice was quiet. "You already saved me once. Don't waste what you have left." She didn't answer. Because this time she wasn't going to let him go. Not him. Not now. Not ever. The pod screen blinked. One red light flashed slowly. Low oxygen, life support damaged. She stared at the message. There was only enough air. For one, and he knew it. "I'm older than you," he said. "I've lived longer. I fought in wars. I did bad things. But today, I did something good." He looked at her, smiling with pain in his eyes. "Let me go." She shook her head. "No. There's not enough. I'll find more," she said quickly. "I'll fix the pod." She stood, trying to open the back panel. Her hands shook, her energy flickered. She fell. He crawled to her, even in his pain, held her. "You gave me back my soul," he whispered. "Don't kill yours, to save mine." But then something happened. She closed her eyes. Inside her, she felt it again. That small, quiet heartbeat. Not hers, his. It was fading, and something deep inside her cracked wide open. Not fear, not rage. Something purer. Love. She had no word for it. The aliens had taken her language, her past, her memories. But she remembered his eyes when he first said, "You're alive." That memory lit something inside her that even the aliens couldn't touch. "I won't lose you," she whispered. Then, she reached deeper into herself. Past the pain, past the scars, past the wires that used to chain her. And there, she found, at the core. It was glowing again, stronger than before. Different. Not stolen, chosen. Her eyes opened, her hands lit up again. This time, not with power, with healing. She touched his chest. Light poured into him, pure, white, warm. He gasped. His wounds closed, his skin cooled, his heartbeat grew steady. The red light on the pod screen blinked faster, then stopped. Oxygen levels. Stabilizing. The system had fixed itself. Or maybe, she had fixed it through it. He opened his eyes, stronger now. "You," he began. She smiled, tears in her eyes. "You saved me first," she said. "Now we're even." He stared at her, wonder in his voice. "You're not just energy, you're something they'll never understand." She looked out the pod window. Far ahead, a planet glowed in the distance. Blue, green, alive. A world untouched by war. Safe. "What's that?" she asked. He followed her gaze. "That might be home." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "Then, take me with you." He nodded slowly. "I'll take you anywhere." The stars moved gently around them. The pod drifted forward. Together, they took everything from her. Now she takes their future. The escape pod floated down. The new planet was quiet. Soft winds brushed across green fields. Tall trees swayed under a pale orange sky. The girl stepped out first. Her bare feet touched the earth. No metal, no wires, no pain, just life. She closed her eyes. For the first time, she felt peace. The human followed her. He wore a bandage on his side and a small smile on his face. "You okay?" he asked. She nodded. "I think I'm finally free." They walked through the grass together. The air was warm. The sky above shimmered with two suns. But even in this peace, something burned inside her. Not fear, not pain, but a promise. Far above them, floating in space, was the broken shell of the alien ship. Still damaged, still empty, but not destroyed. And not alone. Because more ships were coming. The alien empire would not forget what she did. They would come for her. The humans saw the look in her eyes. "They'll come back, won't they?" She nodded. "They won't stop." He sat down on a rock and pulled a piece of tech from his pack. Half alien, half human. "What if we stop them first?" he said. She looked at him. He continued. "You have something they never expected. You broke their system. But maybe you can rebuild it." "Rebuild what?" He looked into her eyes. Hope. For a moment she didn't speak. Then slowly she raised her hand. Her glow returned. Soft, steady, alive. She touched the ground, and something happened. The earth responded. Plants grew faster. The trees leaned closer. Even the air changed. Warmer, cleaner, brighter. Her power didn't hurt this place, it healed it. The human stood. "You're not a weapon," he said. "You're a seed." She smiled. "Then let's plant something better." 1 year later, the alien fleet arrived in orbit. Ships dark as the void. Hundreds of them. Inside the lead ship, commanders barked orders. "Find the battery." She cannot be allowed to lead. She is property. They landed in a field of flowers and waited for battle. But no guns came, no armies, only light. A wave of soft white energy swept through the field, gentle but unbreakable, and there she stood. The girl they once called Unit 9. She wore no chains, no wires, just a simple robe. Her feet still bare, her eyes glowing. Behind her stood others, humans, hybrids, even a few aliens who had joined her. Not with fear, with choice. She raised her hand. "Go," she said to the fleet, "or stay and change." The aliens aimed their weapons. The human, older, now standing beside her, held none. He only said one thing. "She gave you a chance." The alien commander stepped forward. "You are not our leader." The girl nodded once. "You're right," she said. "I'm your future." She didn't attack them. She didn't burn them. She offered them something they never gave her, mercy. And that was her final victory. Final scene. The stars stretched across the sky. The girl and the human walked through a growing village, full of lights, new voices, and new life. Children ran through tall grass. Old machines sat in the dirt. No longer dangerous, she paused, watching a small plant rise from a broken piece of metal. He looked at her. "Do you think they'll ever understand you?" he asked. She smiled. "They don't have to." Then she whispered, like a secret to the wind. "They called me a tool." She turned to him. "But I became a future.